Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another edition of the Press Box. Brian Carson here with my co-host Kenny V, Kenny Varner. How's it going, buddy?
It's going good today. This weather is finally breaking through and getting some more sunshine in. These last couple of days have been brutal.
Yeah, I wouldn't know about that. I stay inside all the time.
Mm.
I'm
I,
turning into a vampire. I rarely go out in the daytime.
oh,
So we have Kenny, our guest. Yeah, our guest tonight is Mifflin County softball coach Craig Weston. We thank him for coming on. Craig is this is what, third or fourth year, Craig?
Fourth year. Of course, first year was COVID, so fourth year now.
That's right. Fourth year softball coach. He's also. Are you still chief of police?
Yes, I am.
So behave yourself, Varner. And he's also running for district magistrate. But we're here to talk football and softball. I just wanted to throw Craig off with the football.
There you go.
I wanted to throw you off too, Kenny.
Well, it worked.
I would like to. I would like to talk later on about how ridiculous the Eagles were to give Jalen Hurts $51 million a year.
Wow.
Because the Rams are finding out how bad that hurts you when you spend too much money on players and then you can't afford them anymore. You can't afford your other guys.
Right.
But that's here or there. All right, Craig, you were at the signing tonight, and Reagan Shafranik and Maddie Wolfgang are going to play at the next level. Maddie is going to Penn State Hazleton, and Reagan is going to play at Pitt Bradford. Being their coach, you got to be proud of that, going to the next level to continue their academic and softball careers.
Yeah, that's an impressive feat. I mean, obviously these kids, they play the school ball, but they play a ton of softball, with their travel teams and other coaches. But yeah, we're obviously, we're proud of them, and there's a lot of people that are involved with that feat. But it's impressive, and they should be proud of that.
Talk a little bit about each of them, what they bring to the table, what they'll bring to their university on the field. We'll start with Madison. And, she's having a great season so far for you this year. She has, I don't know if there's been more. I know she's pitched one shutout. One no-hitter, right?
Yeah, I believe one. She's tossed a couple one-hitters and come in and shut some games down for us, when we, try to get some other kids some experience at that varsity level. But, yeah, she's having a really good season.
What do you think she'll bring to Penn State Hazleton?
Well, I mean, she's a pitcher, obviously, but the athleticism that kid has, if she's not pitching, she has the athletic ability to play, at pretty much any position. But primarily, I would see her fitting if she's not pitching in the outfield. She's probably got the strongest top 3 strongest arms on our team.
And how about Reagan? She's been like a utility person for you. And what do you think she brings to Pitt Bradford?
But Reagan, like you hit the nail on the head. She's utility. We've used her a little bit at second base. She's been a catcher some for us, outfield, and I think that's what she'll take to the next level. I mean, I'm sure. I don't know much about their team and where they need, but her ability to play multi positions makes her a definite asset for that program.
And another thing we got to bring out that I think is important, both of them are on the honor roll. That's all you need to know about that. How about it, Craig?
Absolutely. I mean, they're student athletes, students first, and that says a lot about them personally, their families, and their priorities.
Yeah, the only time Kenny and I got onto the honor roll was when we walked by somebody that was in the honor roll.
I'm not gonna partake in that conversation.
So let's talk about the season so far. 7-3, I believe 4-3 in the mid-pen. You've had some big wins over Bald Eagle area, Bellefonte. You gotta like the way your team is playing right now this season.
Yeah, I mean it's a fast season. We tell the girls, the ladies, hey, it starts and it rolls pretty quick. So and you can't control the weather, so you take advantage of the time you get out. But yeah, overall, I'm happy. I mean, there's obviously always room to for progress and to improve. But and the games that we've won have been good bowl games. The games we lost have been good bowl games. We've been in every game, and you just tell the kids to keep working and play to the last out.
Yeah, the last one was what, 7-6 to Cumberland Valley?
Yeah, we were in Cumberland Valley yesterday. It was a heck of a game. We jumped out on them a little, got 2, and then it was back and forth seesaw, and then we had a chance there at the end to put some runs on, and it's things happen. Sometimes you get breaks, sometimes you don't. But it was a good ball game to watch. Unfortunately, we come out with a loss, but you pull out the positives out of that too. So
absolutely, and they're always tough, Cumberland Valley, and they're definitely even tougher to beat down home.
Yeah, that's quite a school. The facilities down there are top notch. I mean, it's a well run, softball, well coached. Coach is good guy, but and it doesn't matter who you're playing in the mid pen. You got to come ready to play every game.
Kenny, you got something?
Oh yeah. You have a good relief or a good pitcher in the coming up through who got a chance to pitch some this year is Phelan Reinhardt. How much has she meant to you to give Madison a break here and there?
Oh, that's Fallon and Erica Henry. I mean, once again, they're not. What do I say? Maybe pitching's not their top position or their priority, but we can't throw Madison every game either. We want her to be strong and healthy at the end of the season. So just eating up innings and competing and doing what's best, for the team. You tip your hat to both of them because they've done that for us. And, every time they go out, they battle. And sometimes it goes good. Sometimes the breaks go the other way. But I just tell them, we always say, just go out there and battle.
So how do you balance that out? How do you, from your perspective, how do you know when it's like, okay, I got to give Maddie a break here and let somebody else have the ball? What do you talk to her about it, or do you guys, the staff, have that instinctual feel for it?
Well, I mean, obviously we have, Maddie, we'll talk to Maddie, and we've talked, we need honesty. I mean, she wants to compete. She wants the ball all the time. And we got to tell her, listen, your health and your, is the most important thing. And then there's other things you look at, how the velocity of her ball and things, and the pitch count. There is, there's not a PIAA rule, but we track all that, through the course of a game. But, first and foremost, we talk to Maddie and we say, hey, how are you feeling? Are you feeling, if it's not there, then tell us. And we just, we have that relationship.
Nice. So how do you handle this? Like the fall, the winter, excuse, I'll get to the right season in a minute. I just said fall, winter. Now I'll go spring. My point being is how do you get, I was going to say, unlike fall and winter, Well, fall a little bit, but spring is the one time in high school sports where the weather changes drastically. You can go from like 40-degree weather to all of a sudden it's 80, 90-degree weather. How do you get your kids acclimated to that, used to that, or is it just they played so long all the way up through that it isn't a problem, or do you have to slowly prepare yourself for that?
Well, it is an adjustment because I think this season we didn't get outside to practice until it was our first scrimmage. Like that was the first time we were able to get out, and from the gym environment. So you can hit all the ground balls and even hit BP and inside, but it's not the same as going out and hitting outdoors. So you make the best of it, and you just tell them, hey, you're not the only school. Everyone else is dealing with it, so you don't make excuses, and you just get out and you have to come every day prepared to be inside or outside. That's what we always say, because you just never know from day to day what you're getting.
Chemistry wise, it seems like you guys have a very tight knit group.
Yeah, the girls seem to, and that's a big piece of the puzzle too. You can have all the athletes, the best athletes, but if they don't want to gel and compete and you want them to push each other. The girls that maybe aren't starting today, you want them to push the girl that is starting, because that's what makes you a better team, a better program. But on game day, everyone needs to fill their role, and I think they have done that so far. I mean, they seem to get along well, and we hope that continues.
That is nice, isn't it? Because I know, obvious question, but I've known, I won't name names. I've known teams where they didn't get along, and it was just disaster. When you guys, do you try to get that? I mean, is that part of your coaching to try to make that everybody like fit in or with harmonize, or did it just naturally happen?
Well, it's a balancing act, really, because you want kids that want to play. You know what I mean? Like, if they don't want to be a starter, then I'll be honest with you, why be there? But in saying that, we can only put so many kids on the field. So, and you give opportunities to, for kids to compete. And, we're not going to we're not, I'm sure everyone doesn't always agree with our decisions, but at the end of the day, you just want, that 12, 14, 15 girls to come together on game day and do what's best for the team. I tell them at the beginning of the season, I can't even tell you, there's at least 4 or 5, maybe 6 different travel teams that make up the Husky program. And, when you're there, you're a Husky, you're Mifflin County. I don't talk bad about any travel programs, but what you do there, we might not necessarily do the same. And I'm not saying we're right, but that's just the style. That's just how we do it.
Go ahead. You can talk about travel coaches. Go for it.
Oh, no, I think it's great. I encourage those kids to go out and play. I mean, the only thing I ask is when we ask you to do something a certain way, and your travel team coach might say, do it this way, do what he says when you're there. But this is just how we coach. This is our style. And when you're here, this is how you're going to do it.
Yeah, I was just kidding you, Craig. I
coached travel ball for a long time.
I don't want you to badmouth.
I'm aware of it. So.
You don't have to get into detail. How are the parents been?
Oh, I mean, hey, listen, I get it. I had daughter that played softball. There's never a coach that everyone agrees with 100%. I get that. And I accept that as a coach. But, and for the most part, it's great. I mean, and I tell everyone, I'm human. I make mistakes too. There's plenty of times I look back and I think, what in the world? I'll send a girl and she gets thrown out by 20 feet. And I'm thinking, what in the world was I doing? You know what I mean? We're all human. We're all going to make mistakes. So, but overall, it's been a great year. It's been a good year. I'm looking forward to see the progress that we can make.
You have some really tough games coming up on the horizon. You got CD tomorrow, and then you got a return date with State College. How are you guys preparing for that?
Well, and that's what we just talked today at practice. I think we're about halfway through here. We're going to start rolling around the second half playing these teams. You got to come every day, and it doesn't matter who you're playing. You got to come every day, be prepared to just battle. And because that's the approach that, the rest of them are taking, we need to take. And I'm excited to see how we react, now that we've been through, played the first time, and I'm really excited to see where it goes.
And a long season, a lot of times it's luck to avoid. It's just plain luck to avoid injuries. How are the kids on that front? Everybody, despite the normal bumps and bruises, everybody pretty healthy.
Yeah, I mean, you always have little hiccups along the way. Rather a kid rolls their ankle, gets a little sore arm, whatever the case might be. But knock on wood, we've avoided any major injuries, and hope it continues that way. But you're 100% right. Any given day, something like that can happen. But in the same token, if you do, if you have something, it's the next girl up, and someone has to pick up and step up and take that role.
The young kids, you're going to need them in a. The season goes by fast, but it's still there's quite a bit of games. You're going to need your young players to step up once in a while. How do you feel? You knew what you were going to get from your veterans. How do you feel the younger kids have done? And that could include. I know you don't get to see them in games, but even the GV and that.
Yeah,
how do you feel they played this year?
Yeah, we've had. At the varsity level, we've had younger kids. When I say younger, sophomores, from sophomores to juniors, that any given day we've had different girls step up. Whether it was getting that big hit or making a big play on the field. We're fortunate enough to have that. In the JV team, JVs, obviously you're playing to win, but you're also playing to develop and have them kids ready for if we would need them this year or next year. But I talk to those JV coaches after every practice, after every game, and just see how things are going. And there's a bright future down there. So.
Your kids. Do you have to motivate them, or are these guys, you got a veteran team, they pretty much have their routine down and you don't have to do that raw stuff with them?
It varies. It's every kid's different. You got to coach a kid, maybe this kid a little different, but overall, I think the seniors, the captains, and some of our captains aren't seniors. That's what you don't have to be a senior to be a leader. You don't have to be a captain to be a leader. But I think the kids, there are times we got to maybe put a little extra emphasis on it. But I think overall, the team atmosphere, the team takes care of that.
Kenny, I have to ask Kenny, Craig, because sometimes I just keep rambling and talking and asking questions and monopolize the conversation, and I don't want to do that. So, Kenny, anything?
Yes. Offensively, you've had a pretty successful year this year. Who were some of the leaders of the offense for you?
Well, offensively, it's been an interesting year. Anywhere up and down the lineup, we've had some kids go in spurts. That's one thing we've been trying to coach up, is trying to get a little more consistent hitting, up and down. But, and any given night, it's been different. But, Erica Henry has had some big hits for us. Riley Hine, Erica Henry and Riley Hine sort of set the table at the top of the order. And then, you got Dakota Hirschberger and Soph McCurdy and McKenna Yoder. Jay Baldorf. The Baldorf has had some big hits for us, but it's been a different season because and it's good, but the hits have come, up and down at any given time. So we've been really trying to work on some consistency on the hitting.
When we talked about, we know how your pitching's going, and you just talked about your offense. Give us some comments, some analysis defensively. How do you like the way your defense has played this year so far?
Well, I'd like to start with the catcher, Lena Sharp. She's just done a superb job back there. I mean, to me, obviously pitching is important, but that catcher to me might be the most important position on the field. She sees it all. I value her opinion. She's been very good for us behind the plate. And then, I'll just talk about, we'll go around, but Dakota Hirschberger's our starting first baseman. She's, having a good year defensively. Jaylee Baldorf, second base. Riley Hahn at shortstop, McKenna Yoder at third. Defensively, I think we've played a pretty good defense. I hope I just don't jinx ourselves. But and then we got Alexis O'Brien and Fallon Reinard. We're sort of spotting some girls around, getting some different playing time, and then Soph McCurdy and Erica Henry, in the outfield. But defensively, I really, I'm happy with where we're at. There's still room for improvement, but overall, I'm happy with that.
So far, you're 10 games in. What do you like? What do you feel what are you most happy with, most impressed with, and what do you feel you need to work on?
Oh, well, I guess I'm happy. I'm content. The defense has been good. Our pitching has been solid. The girls are gelling good together. We talked about like Reagan Shafranich, the ability for her to play, multiple positions. And so that's been a positive, those three things. Like I said, the thing that I'm not disappointed, I think something that, we're focusing on a little more is the offense. The consistency in the hitting and the ability to get that sacrifice bunt down and not make the base running mistakes that, will win those close ball games.
What's your coaching philosophy? Are you a small ball kind of coach, or like let's just go, just fire it up, offense?
I am an offensive-minded coach. Terry Henry. I don't know if you remember Terry. He's the hitting guru.
Yeah.
He's all about play the offense. But in saying that, we have the ability and the athletes and the speed to go small ball, and we've had to do it a couple of times. Bold Eagle, we faced a really good pitcher over there, the Albright girl, and we were able to put some pressure on them by getting the bunt down. So we're athletic enough to go small ball if we have to, but it's nice to be able to have that ability to do both.
Back to the Bald Eagle game. How big of a win was that for the team?
That was a big win. I mean, that's a really good team, well coached. I mean, the experience in that dugout, from Bald Eagle area with the amount of years those guys have coached, it's that anytime you can go over there and get a W, it's a plus for our program. But the kids were excited. It was I mean, that game just flew by because the pitchers were for dominating at first, and then we were able to get a couple breaks, and like I said, got some bunts down, put some pressure on them. But it was a big win.
Yeah, because I know Bald Eagles won state championships. I know they're smaller than we are, but I think Bellefonte has too, haven't they, Kenny?
Yes, yep. But they're a little down this year.
So
from others, but they have a good team. It's just they're fighting with a new coach this year, or not fighting, but they have a new coach this year, and they're trying to work
there you go, Kenny.
out,
Yeah, and then we played. We
stir
played
up controversy.
Central Mountain was a big win for us too, because that's a program it's been very, very well run. So
yeah, and I think that's been their only loss.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at the
for both
Central Mountain. Is that their only loss?
Central Mountain and Bald Eagle, their only loss. Wow, their only losses were to Mifflin County.
My point being that you're talking about, even if Bellefonte's down, this is a team, and Bald Eagle, these are teams with tradition behind them. many years of tradition behind them.
Mm-hmm.
So nice win so far. And then now Kenny's stirring up the controversy. I can see the headline in Hometown Sports Scene. Bellefonte kids hate their coach.
Yeah.
I'll have to wear a disguise outside my house tomorrow.
Kenny, go ahead. You've been covering the softball more. I haven't covered anything, so.
Okay. I lost my place. Oh my gosh.
You're allowed to lose your place.
Yeah.
Just
kind of go back to last season. That run you guys made at the end of the year. It's got to be one for that you guys will savor for a while.
Yeah, I mean, we knew, I guess jumping back to last year, we knew we were going to be young and a little bit inexperienced. So we expected some hiccups along the way. I mean, and that was part of the, I don't want to say the plan, but you just sort of know that till these kids gain the experience and the, cohesiveness, our hope was that till the end of the year, we would hit it right. And they did. They battled, they played well. We made it into, 2 years in a row. We made it into the top 16 in the state first round of the state playoffs. And saying that, I've always said, don't be content, always want to take it to the next level. So, it's great to win districts and that's an achievement. But we obviously would like to make a run deeper than we have.
Have you, this is your fourth year now, you said, well, there was a COVID year, but have you changed your approach in any way, coaching, like maybe drill-wise, or how you handle conditioning? Anything that's changed since when you first started?
I would say as a coach, you have to adjust to your team. Every team's a little different. But in saying that, the fundamentals are still the fundamentals, the hitting fundamentals, the fielding, so, you start with the fundamentals and you build on them. So, there's probably some changing that has to be done. And everyone's style's a little different too. So as coaches, I'm fortunate enough to be surrounded, by some really good coaches that, you trust them, they go out and do their thing. And so, you have to adjust. But in saying that, the foundation is the fundamentals.
Well, you already answered that. Besides Craig Johnson, because we know how he is. How is your coaching? How is your coaching staff?
Well,
how do you feel they're doing this year?
We'll let Craig Johnson out of this, but of course at the varsity level, we have Terry Henry and Matt Maxwell that that have been there and helped. Down at the JV level, we have Eric Spake, Sheila, his wife, and Hannah Bob, Selena Brenneman, JB Baker, Alyssa Schnell. We got a lot of coaches, but in saying that, that's good because the ability is there to get some individualized work, with the kids, pull them aside while the other coaches are running some drills. You can take a kid up in the cage or a pitcher or a catcher and work some specific skill sets.
And the JV program's been doing pretty well this year for you, haven't they?
Yeah, they have. I mean, and once again, there's going to be ups and downs with them. You have, without getting into details, you have injuries you have to deal with, and we tell those kids that their goal should be to come to the varsity team, and and we have done that in the past. And just because you maybe start down there doesn't necessarily mean that's where you're going to be. If they prove that they deserve a shot to come up, we'll bring them up and see what they have.
Yeah, that's some good coaching down there. Sheila was a heck of a player when she played, and she was good at all sports, I think. And we're getting old, Kenny. Alyssa and JB, we covered in high school.
I know. Scary, isn't it?
Yeah, I actually coached JB in football, so I really feel old. So.
Oh, that's right. I forgot you did. Yeah. Don't you start getting old?
Yeah, especially when I start looking at these dates of birth of these kids, and I'm thinking, wow, I am really getting old. So
Yeah. Just wait till you're coaching a kid you coach their kid. Kenny and I are we're covering kids that we covered their kids now.
yeah, yeah.
And that either says one thing. We've either stayed in too long or so it sounds like that the feeder program's starting to click, starting to hum. After 4 years here, are you getting this? Because we've always had, I feel, pretty good youth softball in this area. How would you rate our feeder program right now? You looking at it from the varsity perspective.
Well, it's funny you asked that. I actually talked to a representative from the Little. We're gonna do a Mifflin County softball Little League night. We were inviting all the girls to a game on May, I believe it's May 5th against West Perry. So we want to have as many of those girls come to the game and be recognized, and try to build that momentum even more. But it sounds like that. That's on the back up. Yeah, and I think things are sort of like up and down sometimes, but it sounds like that program's on its way back up. I mean, I'm not saying it was down and out, but there was a little bit of a lull, but it sounds like it's heading back up in the right direction.
Do you think it may be an obvious question, it might not be. When it goes up and down, do you think it depends on the coaches that are there at the time?
I don't know. I mean, the biggest thing is, and when I was playing, coaching at those ages, I don't want to put this. You don't want to teach kid not to want to win, but you want to teach the fundamentals and the put the groundwork in for their future and the team and the program. So I never say you don't play to win, but at that age, you're just teaching those fundamentals so that every level they can take it to that next step.
What does it take, you feel, to be a good coach, a good manager, we'll say?
Well, first off, you got to be surrounded by good assistant coaches, and because I'll be the first one to admit, being the head coach, I do a lot of coaching softball, but you also have to do a lot of administrative things that are required, and that's part of it. And saying that, you also have to have the support of your athletic department, and when we do, it's been great. They've always supported us in anything that and that goes up clean to the administration. So as a head coach, I mean, you're dealing with a little bit of everything. You got to be a good listener. You got to be able to communicate. I'd say communication skills are probably the most important thing that a head coach can do.
Okay, I got to ask you, this is a personal one. How do you keep your cool in losses or when things go wrong? Because I got to be honest, this is why I could never be a coach of anything. I get so upset. Like, everybody knows I'm a giant Rams fan, LA Rams. When they lose, I actually get physically ill.
Well, let's just say as I got older, that was a little more easier. Back in my younger days, I probably wouldn't handle it quite like I do now. I mean, it should hurt. It last night was a good game, but I hate to lose. The bus ride home, you run everything through your head. What could I have done? But in saying that, you take the positives out of it and learn from it. But I'll be the first one to admit there are times that it's really tough to sort of keep that stuff all bottled up inside. But you just, like I said, you have to learn from it. So.
Well, I give you credit because I would, if I coached, I would be Bobby Knight without the wins.
Yeah, I can see that.
Because nobody would want to play for me. I don't know how you guys do it. I don't. I like Kirby Martin in wrestling, calm as a cucumber, no matter what happens. Thank thank goodness it doesn't happen. But he could lose 56-0, and even if he's like pissed off, same face, same demeanor. I couldn't be doing that. I would be like insane.
Yeah, I mean, and I've talked to Kirby. He's pretty much the same guy. Doesn't matter, but you set the tone for your team though too. Through the ups and downs of a season. You always say you don't want to get too high and you don't want to get too low. So you try to keep that that composure, whether it's going well or not so well.
Kenny, you got anything you would like to ask?
Sure. In your short time as the head of the Huskies, and you kind of going back to the graduation and the kids going to the next level, you've had a lot of success with your girls moving up and playing collegiate ball. What do you feel that the testament to that is? The kids, their success.
Well, I mean, obviously, it all starts at their home. At home, we see them and spend a lot of time with them. But in saying that, these kids are playing softball, some of them year round. Their travel teams are practicing and playing, and some of these kids are traveling up and all over the United States. So they're dedicated. They spend a lot of time, wanting to do it. So yeah, I mean, I'm proud of the kids that have gone on, but in saying that, it's a lot of people involved, and I'm just happy to say that maybe I played a small part in that. So
that's cool. Thank you, Corey Ray, for the like. We appreciate it. Somebody likes you, Craig.
That's a start.
Yeah. Kenny, oh, now I laughed so hard I lost my train of thought. Go ahead, Kenny. I'll think of my question in a minute.
Oh, okay. I know a lot of people probably ask this question, but what do you think about playing all year round? Or do you think that multiple
You just took my question, Kenny.
Well, I will say this. Long time ago, I played 3 sports in high school, and I'm a big fan of kids playing, being involved in as much as they can be in. When it's softball season, I want my kids to be dedicated, my players to concentrate on softball. But, I've got kids that, play different sports, involved in the band, involved in chorus. That's as important to me as softball. You get one crack at this growing up. So in my opinion, take it all in, do what you can do, be a part of everything that you can be a part of. But when it's that season, not that you just put the glove away and you forget about it, but when it's that season, you dedicate it. But I'm a big proponent of multi sport, like play as much as you can.
I agree 1,000% with that. My caveat to that, what I want to ask you though, is I agree with multiple sports. I absolutely do. As a side note to that though, if some girl wants to be, says to herself, I want to be a great softball player. Do you think this, the main sport that you love the most, you should do in the summer though? I'll give an example. The Hidleys, they rustled all year long. They rustled spring, summer.
I normally will end with a caveat when I say that is, unless you are the Hidleys, because they're freaks. I mean, I don't know how else to put it. Those kids are just dedicated. Their athleticism. I mean, it's just amazing to me. I mean, I considered myself to be a decent athlete. Those kids just take it to a new level. So their commitment, and it's amazing.
You said it though, right there. You said it. They are freak athletes, But I think even more important, if you talk to them, and I know Kenny and I have interviewed them so many times, it's upstairs. Mentally, they are so mentally tough that I said this statement over and over again. The only athlete that I've ever interviewed that came close to the mental toughness of them was Krista Gingrich. That's it.
Yeah, and I couldn't agree more.
That girl just did not want to lose.
No, and you could see in everything that they do. I mean, Krista and the Hidleys. I mean, you could just see it in their face that they weren't going to lose. I mean, it was just they refused to lose. And the mental aspect of the game in any sport, people don't realize that's. And you can say it, but it honestly is 90% of it. If you can get that mental, that the mentality that I'm going to win this or I'm going to do, that's half the battle. So.
Well, I'm glad you brought that up. Do you? My next question is: do you believe that can be taught? That you can teach a kid mental toughness, or is that something that's just ingrained in a kid?
Well, I think it can be taught, but to a point. I mean, but some of that, I hate to say it, I think is just an inherited thing. I mean, I think you can teach it, you can work on it and improve it, but at some point, I mean, if you look at Krista and the background there and the Hidleys, I mean, some of that's just ingrained in them, even from a young age starting out. I mean, that's something that's just there.
But I agree with you, Ken, learn it, because I do want to point it out to kids, and Trent brings it up himself. His first match, he cried and didn't want to go back out in the mat. So, look what happened. But yeah, so I agree with that, and I think you probably do have kids though that Craig, some that in softball that just want to be great, and they'll play all summer long too.
Oh yeah, there's kids on there that honestly they only play softball, and I'm fine with that, but I always encourage, if there's something else that you like to do or want to do, don't use softball as sort of your way, think I have to play softball all the time. If you want to do it, great, but you don't have to do it. Enjoy what you like to do. And because like I said, these years fly by and you only get one shot at it.
Mm-hmm. So true.
You're absolutely correct about that. I agree. One of the things I want to ask you, and I always bring this up because I think we're a little bit maybe spoiled around here. Maybe that's not the right word, but I want you to talk about the Mifflin County fans, because I am always amazed at how our small little area, how passionate they are about sports and how they follow and support these Mifflin County kids.
Yeah, it really is quite impressive. I mean, and I'll start with, one of the things we do as a program is our banner, like a fundraiser, is we take banners and we hang businesses out on our outfield fence. They pay a fee to do that. And I don't know if you've been to our field, but I think I counted, we have like 43 businesses that take ads out there.
Wow.
That's just, and I go to these other fields and, you see 5, 6. I mean, there's no one that comes close to what we have. And to me, that says a lot about the program and where it can go. But, and even parents, grandparents, aunts, uncles, I mean, you see everyone coming, to the field. And it does mean a lot to the players, because they, obviously everyone wants to play and they play hard, but when you have someone there, that's traveled, hour and a half, whatever, to me that, that says a lot about their family and the program.
Kenny, you got anything?
I think I'm out of questions.
That's okay. I just, if you don't have any, it's okay. I always I don't know. My head's full of questions. It's because I sit around. It's because ever since my condition, Kenny, I sit around all day and think of them. So, uh, you're 7-3 right now. How would you like, Craig, you and your staff? What do you want to see the rest of the season from your girls?
Well, the biggest thing is obviously, I mean, you want to win and you play to win, but just in making the improvements, the adjustments and the improvements, that we see and work on, so that when it comes that end of the year push for the districts and things like that, that we're heading in the right direction. So like I said, you play every game to win, but in doing that, there's little things that you sort of individual goals that you set and you work on to get there.
Nice. I got a question that's off of softball and on to baseball. Did you play baseball, Craig?
Yes, I did.
Okay. Then you can bring firsthand knowledge to this. Why are baseball players sissies? Modern baseball players, I should say. Not you, Craig. Not you, Craig. Modern baseball players. The reason why, remember how I said I take things too seriously? I started Trevor Rogers today in my DFS fantasy baseball, and he left the game with a sore forearm. Okay. Bob Gibson talked about one time he threw 275 pitches in one game.
Yeah, there's definitely a change in the way and mentality of our baseball. Let's just say it that.
He ruined my team today. I was doing good with my hitters, and he goes out after 4 innings because his little forearm hurt. Oh man!
Yeah, that'll.
Not you, Craig. You played back when they were tough, man. Kids were tough. Give me the ball. I'll pitch till my arm came off.
That's
right?
The way I like to think it anyway. So.
No, I'm hoping the guy doesn't have a serious injury, but cost me today, Kenny. He cost me money.
Sucks.
So, Craig, little off topic here. Are you a glutton for punishment? Because you're the police chief, so I know you've ran into a lot of idiots in your lifetime. And now you are running for district justice, magistrate. So what is this? You want to see more idiots? I mean, I don't get it, man. You must be a glutton for punishment.
No, honestly, I mean, like I said, I've been doing this over 25 years, and most people you deal with are great people. I mean, they just make a mistake, and and once again, just like you teach at softball, you make a mistake, you learn from it. And I just look at this as possibly the next step to still try to make a difference. And we're all human, we all make mistakes, and the biggest thing is hopefully people they learn from it, and that's something we instill in our players. Listen, you're going to make errors. The guys out there making $1 million make errors, but control what you can control, the effort, don't let it bother you, rebound and move on for the next one, because guess what? It's coming. It might not be the next pitch, but it's coming. So, and it's life. That's just the way it is.
Honestly, I was just kidding. I'm just trying to have a little fun here. But serious question. How do you think coaching will help you in that job if you're elected?
Yeah, if I'm fortunate enough to get elected, I mean, you're dealing with people, and everyone's different. You got it. Like I said, I still feel that communication is the biggest thing. You got to be able to relate to people, and not everyone's the same. You can't coach this kid the same as that one. You can't treat this person the same as that one. And so there are a lot of similarities in the two.
Before we continue, I would like to announce about something that's very important in my heart, and I think Kenny's too, and that's the Scott Seckler Blackout Cancer event will be held Tuesday, April 25th. I think the time to buy T-shirts is over. That was yesterday, but you can donate, be a sponsor, and after the meet on the 25th, walk around the track to raise money and awareness for melanoma. And Scott was a great guy. We all know that, and it's good that they're doing this, and I wholeheartedly support it. And Craig, did you know Scott?
Yeah, he actually was 2 years older than me. My older brother, they were the same age, but I got to play against him in football. They, of course, back in the Indian Valley, Lewistown days, and unfortunately, he kicked our tail all around the field. So we took one that day. But super, super nice guy, family. You couldn't ask for a nicer guy. Better, good coach. Just related well with the kids.
You better believe he did. I have yet to meet a person or a kid he coached that didn't have nothing but amazing things to say about him. And you do this business long enough, like Kenny and I have, you get to be some coaches won't name names. You're like, oh my God, it's like nails on a blackboard. And then there's some that you just become really close with. And Scott was one of those guys for me. We would text all the time. Anytime I wanted him, when I used to do the hotline out at Vince's, anytime I'd ask him, even if they got blasted in football, he would come out and talk. Didn't matter. Just a great guy. Miss him a lot. And I think it's great what they're doing. And we are going to have, Kenny Varner and I, people, a special edition of the Press Box on Monday, 7 o'clock, special time, 7 o'clock, to talk about the cancer walk, the Blackout Cancer event. We're going to have Tish McClay, the athletic director of Mifflin County. We're going to have Scott Gantz, the girls' track coach, and we're going to have Scott's wife, Tamara Seckler, the boys coach, will be on to talk about the Blackout Cancer event, and we're looking forward to that, aren't we, Mr. Varner?
Oh, most definitely, most definitely. Scott was one of those coaches that you actually enjoyed when you knew you were covering something. You knew that you were going to have a fun time, whether they lost or they won. He was always classy and always upbeat. So yeah, this is going to be a great show on Monday, and I'm looking forward to it.
So how do you see, you know what you're going to face in District 6. There's Altoona, there's State College. How do you think the rest of the mid-Penn season is going to play out? You're right there with Cumberland Valley. You saw that. What you lost to Cedar Cliff, right? What was that score? Was it close?
Yeah, we sort of just, I guess I'll take the blame. We didn't have our kids ready to go. We were flat. I mean, we came out flat. I talked to Terry or a couple of the coaches. We just couldn't get it going. We lost 5-3 to them. In saying that, we just weren't ready to go. And as a coaching staff, as the coach, I'll take the blame for that. But looking at Central Dauphin and Cumberland Valley, we lost to Central Dauphin 5-3 down there. Cumberland Valley lost yesterday 7-6. So I mean, they're games that a break here, a break there. Now we got rained out with Chambersburg, so we're going to play them here. I think the first week of May. Actually, I think back to back, like a Monday and a Tuesday. So they're always tough. So yeah, I mean, it's like you tell the team that it doesn't matter who it is. You have every game is you got to come ready to go and compete. So I'm anxious to see how we go. I'm anxious to see the mindset, the mental side of it. So, I'm hoping for good things and I'm expecting good things.
Now, I don't know what Altoona's like this year, but it seems to be always you and State College. You won the first matchup. How do you see that playing out, which is probably going to be your District 6 final too?
Well, that's one of those games where I hate to say it, but records don't mean anything, scores,
Mm-hmm.
because it's such a, it's a rivalry game and everyone's up for it. There's obviously that pressure of playing in that district game and the environment and the crowd. So, you try to get your kids ready and just, put all that aside. But honestly, last year they beat us twice in the regular season, and then we beat them in the district championship game. So you can take those records, put them aside, because it really doesn't mean anything.
Isn't that good for the sport, though, having this little rivalry like 30 miles away from us?
Oh, yes. I mean, I always tell the girls, if you can't get excited and pumped to play any game, but especially a team like State College, I mean, you respect them. They're a well-coached team. You have to respect your opponent, but you also have to. There are those certain games where you just you're chomping at the bit. You want to get after it.
Kenny,
Yes.
anything?
I can't think of anything. I'm drawing a blank. I'm sorry.
Oh, that's okay. That's okay. Craig, you can talk about them after the show.
Hey, there is a couple kids here that I'd like to address if I can.
Yeah, you can do. Hey, it's our show, man. We don't have commercials or anybody. Right. You can do what you want.
Well, and we tell the team that you don't have to be a starter. Everyone has a role on this team. And there's some girls, I've named some of the girls that get to play, but there's play more than others, I should say. But we have some girls that that are there. They're putting in the time. They're competing, and they have they might not get to play as much as some of the other girls. I'm that's just the way it is. But you got a Morgan Diven and a Julianne, a Hertzler. Lorraine Miner, those kids come every day. They give 110%. They do whatever they're asked, and we are a better team because of that. And maybe they don't get to play the innings, they get bats, but they are just as important to anyone else on that team. And we stress that, and that's just something that I wanted to get out there. And lots of times those kids maybe don't get it recognized, but honestly, without them, we're not where we're at. So.
Absolutely, you need them. Yeah. I agree. They're critical to a team, practicing and everything, even if they don't get the playing time.
Right, and that's we stress that over and over, and it's been good. I mean, I know I've been involved in teams years ago where sometimes these kids don't get the recognition that they should. But when I say this, I mean it. I mean, these kids come every day. They do whatever they're asked to do. They work, they bust their tail, they want to play, and that's the way it should be. And I appreciate all the effort that from all the team. But sometimes these kids get, they don't get recognized maybe as much as they should.
Awesome. Any final thoughts, Mr. Weston?
Well, like I said, I did tell you about the Little League softball night on May 5th. Come out, support. I mean, come out to any game. We play there where behind the old Highland where they tore down the school. You can see the field now. We do have a senior night. All the seniors will be recognized April 26th against Altoona. So that's big for those kids, for their last sort of hurrah to be recognized as a senior. But honestly, just come out and support the girls. I mean, that's what it's about. It's not about the coaches. It's not about anything. It's about the team and the girls coming out and doing their best.
Awesome.
Absolutely. And when is that night again?
Senior night would be April 26th against Altoona.
And the Little League?
May 5th.
Is that the same night?
No, May 5th is Little League. I think we play West Perry that night.
Okay, so there's besides supporting the kids, get out there and watch some softball. See, I haven't been out in so long, I didn't even know they tore down Highland Park.
Yeah, it's down. You can see 6th Street, the tennis courts and everything. It's all open right now.
Wow. Do you still have to go up the stairs to get to the field?
Well, they actually when they did the tear down, the demolition, they took the stairs out. But you can there's a road, that access road is open for people that need it, handicap. But most people have to park out and walk in. But if you do need the ability, they have a golf cart there. Lots of times they'll bring people in if they need to.
Oh, nice.
I see. That's good. Unfortunately, I'm in that situation right now. So that's why I haven't been out much. But no, it's cool. Hey, listen, we thank you for coming on.
Yes,
Good
thank
luck
you.
the rest of the season. Good. Hopefully, you win that district title and move on into states. And you got my vote, man.
Hey, I appreciate everything you guys do to promote our, all the athletes and the program. So much respected.
Oh, thank you.
Thanks. Come back anytime. Anytime.
Yes, definitely.
Appreciate it. You guys take care.
You too, Craig. Thanks.
See ya.
You too. All right. That is Craig Weston, Mifflin County softball coach. Good talk there. Another hour flew by, Kenny.
Yes, it did. Sorry I ran out of questions.
It's all right. I got close. I did. One more time. The Scott Seckler Blackout Cancer event will be on Tuesday, April 25th. Please go. Or if you can, at least donate and support this great cause for melanoma awareness. We'll have a special edition, once again, of the Press Box Monday at 7 o'clock. We'll still have our regular Wednesday show here, but Monday at 7 o'clock, we'll have Tish McClay, Mifflin County Athletic Director, Scott Gantz, girls track and field coach, and Tamara Seckler, Scott's wife, and the boys track and field coach will be on. It's going to be I'm going to try to not tear up, Kenny, but I can't make any promises.
Oh, me neither.
Yep. So, I always ask, it's that time. Do you have any shout outs, buddy?
Yeah, well, let's get Walking the Duck, huh?
Hold on.
Oh, there we go.
Here we go. All
right, I got a couple.
Kenny Barner, his shout outs, feeding the ducks.
Oh, feeding the ducks. I should know that.
Yeah, it's all right, man. We got this 1970s groove going on. All right, buddy. Go ahead.
All right. The first shout out is to the Bellefonte boys track and field team who have clinched the Mountain League, perfect 7-0, and the Bellefonte girls are 6-1 and still in the battle for the title. So congratulations to them, winning it pretty early in the year. Big shout out to the Bald Eagle girls softball team as they beat their rivals yesterday in a thrilling 2-1 contest. Sierra Albright got the win on a 3-hitter, so congrats to her. Another shout out goes to the individual Mifflin County athletes that have just signed to take their game to the next level. I'll read their names off just at the signing tonight. So it's been a very busy night as I got from Lewistown to Bellefonte just in time for the show. So here are the kiddos that were signed. Bailey McNitt, which she'll be going to Shepherd University, and lacrosse player Sadie Fike. She'll be going to Wilson College, majoring in nursing. Brenna Dobson, she'll be playing her lacrosse career at Mount Aloysius, studying ultrasonography and radiology. Mifflin County, we talked about.
Say that
Maddie
again.
I think we'll just leave that for a playback.
Sorry.
Oh, Maddie Wolfgang, of course, she's going to Penn State Hazleton. She'll be studying something a little easier to spell and to read: medical laboratory technology. Reagan Safranich will be going to University of Pittsburgh Bradford. She'll study psychology. Then there's cross country runner CJ Coffey going to just local here, Juniata College, as well as Cameron Barban. He was also, I believe, a runner. Field hockey Monica Druckenmiller will be heading to Stevenson University in Maryland, and she'll be studying marketing and financing. This is one that I saw on your Facebook page. Wrestler Jacob Cunningham will continue his career
Mr. Cunningham.
Messiah. So he'll be studying environmental science. And Huskies pitcher Bryson Bubb will be continuing his baseball career at La Roche University. I believe that's out in Pittsburgh area. He'll be studying communications, media, and technology. He's going into the media. Poor kid. No, I'm just kidding.
I bet you he doesn't get. I bet you he doesn't. I bet you he doesn't have forearm problems.
Elijah Osborne.
And yeah, for going into the media, should we tell him no first? Sorry to interrupt. Going into the media is a crazy thing to do.
It's one of those you can tell them, but they don't understand till they're in our shoes.
Yeah, unless he's TV, and then he'll make out.
Oh yeah, he'll do well. Elijah Osborne.
And then you got Eli Osborne.
Yes, continuing his football career at Lycoming College, studying biology.
Good for him. I believe his dad there was Barry and Denny. I believe his dad's Denny. Denny was a wrestler for Lewistown back in the day.
Yes. Yes, I remember covering him. So, yeah, you're making me feel old again.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Corey French will be going to the Air Force Academy in Colorado, where he'll be studying biology. Reagan Ettinger will be going to the United States Marine Corps, and he'll be a combat engineer. And
wow.
Rounding out the day was Craig Weston, and he assigned to defend our country in the United States Air Force. So congrats to everybody who signed. I guess that is my shout outs for today. I'm a little long-winded, but there you go.
That's all right. Hey, they deserve it. They deserve the shout out for what they did. I got to make one comment. We know I'm a wrestling guy about Jake Cunningham and what hard work can do for you. This kid won 25 matches this year, went to regionals, is going to Messiah College. His very first year, his freshman year, he won one match. One.
Wow.
He's my favorite story because instead of quitting like most kids would do, Jake stuck it out, practiced, worked hard, wrestled over the summer all the time, every year, and got better and better till he was at 25 wins. He was state ranked, got the way unfortunately, unlucky, didn't get the states, but got all the way to regionals. And this was a kid that won one match as a freshman. Good for him. He's going to love Messiah. Have you ever been down there, Kenny? It's a beautiful campus.
No, I haven't. No.
And they have a great wrestling tradition. If you saw on my website, Caleb Bloat was a national champion for Messiah back in 2014.
Wow.
Division III champ. Yeah. We got a good connection there. Kirby Martin, our head coach at Mifflin County, wrestled there and was an assistant coach there. The great Kenny Weitzel was an assistant coach there. So a Mifflin County Messiah connection. On basketball side, Elena Eckley went to Messiah.
Nice.
We got a lot of kids go there.
I'll say.
All right. Any final words, Mr. V?
No, just go out, everybody. Enjoy the rest of the week. I don't think there's supposed to be any bad weather until maybe Saturday. But Sunday is supposed to jump back up and be nice. So enjoy the weekend. Please join us Monday for the special show. And be safe, everyone.
Absolutely. I agree with you. Hopefully you'll be able to make it on Monday evening for the Scott Seckler special for the cancer walk. We appreciate you guys being here. We truly do. Thank you for listening. Have a great rest of your week and an even better weekend. For Kenny Varner, I'm Brian Carson. Thanks for listening, everybody. See you later.
Good night, everybody.